Okay, let's have a quick look at the software now. Once you've installed the software, you'll see that there'll be two icons. These are the two main icons of the program. The icon with the folder would take you to where the templates are saved and where your working files are that you have been working on, and this is the icon that will start the program up. So let's just start the program up. Okay, so when you start the program up, if your software has already been licensed, this is the screen you will see. If not, you would see this form where you'll need to place your key and hit apply to license the software. So I'll just get into the program now. So this is the main menu of the screen. The rest of the menu items get populated once you open up a program. So I'll just run through and open up a program or a financial. So this is just a demonstration financials. So open that up. As you can see, you get the rest of the menu items that allows you to work with the program once you open up a particular file. Now, if you need to create a new file, you would use the create function where you'd get its name, the entity name that you're creating, and then select the template to base it off, and then it will create the Word document and the data file based on that and put it into a separate folder, and then you can open it up from there. So you need to click on create and it will run through that function. Once you have got your template in here and you're about to start, the first thing you want to do is to set up your entities. If it's a consolidated entity, you'll have to give the names for the name and a code for the parent entity and for each of the subsidiaries. These names are primarily used for holding the trial balance data and any journal entries with regard to that client, which is used when it comes to preparing the financial statements. The next stage would be to try and import in your trial balance. Now this form here enables you to import not only your trial balance, you can also import a statement if you have it on Excel, and then use that as a start point to automate it by linking the relevant items onto that statement from the system. You can also do account mapping and groups and classifications that can also be imported in if you already have it. If not, don't worry about it, you just create it in the system. So once you've brought in your trial balance, your next step of the program is to do the grouping and mapping. Now, when it comes to grouping and mapping, this is the main form that you'd use to do your grouping and mapping. So here you'll see the groups, and here you'll see each of the accounts that have been mapped into a particular group. So as you change, you'd notice that this is the accounts in the group appears on the form just below it. This area of the form shows you what accounts have not been grouped yet for that group level. So for example, if I were to go to this group, you can see that there is nothing grouped in. That's because that group level 5 is not used in this particular set of financials, but you could use it by creating your own groups and then adding the accounts you wish to those groups. So that's what the main form you'd use to do your grouping. There are other functions available here where you can actually do your grouping as well, but the main form, the group form 1, is the most easiest location to do grouping and classifications. You can also pass adjustment entries in the grouping area. So this is where you would pass any adjustments while you're preparing your financials. There is the adjustments are split between entity adjustments and consolidated adjustments, and you have the journal entries for or general journals for the entity level adjustments you need to make, along with any cash flow adjustments that you need to pass for any non-cash items. Generally, cash flow adjustments are very limited. You don't pass too many, but and they're mainly passed to eliminate any non-cash transactions from cash flow. And you get, of course, you get the elimination entries with regard to consolidation, and these entries are passed between entities where you need to eliminate some transactions in order to get the group figures. The next main form we'll be utilizing would be the preparation of the statements. You'll have many statements here which you can create. Now this one has a number of statements, so I'm just opening a couple of them. The color coding here is to assist you in preparing it. It doesn't mean that this is the colors that would appear on your final report. This is just to assist you to know from where the information is coming from. So for example, this color represents that the information is coming from the trial balance groups, and you'd add it based on these ones. So for example, if I open up the trial balance, you can see the consolidated figures, for example, at group level 1. You can also see the entity figures at group level 1, and if you need, you can also bring it directly from the trial balance at a very detailed level. Generally, not too many people bring in individual accounts. It's always groups, but if you need to get an individual account, the option is still there. And these are the other functions you'd use, which is highlighted from here: add items to the statement, or these are the items you'd use to prepare the statement. Here's where you can actually view the statement on Word as to how it's going to actually look in your final report. So I'll just run this one, which is the P&L. Does recalculates the entire statement before it actually generates it, ensuring that it is taken up the latest figures for any adjustments you have passed, and it's done the process. So this particular statement, I was just playing around with it and added a data column to the left, but you can have it on the right as well by just let me just close this one. So by just unticking here, saying you don't want the information to be on the left, so you have the capability of showing the information on the left. Here's where you create some of the items which are utilized here to create the statement. So for example, numbering for notes, formatting. Here you can create the row format, and also you have the cell format which you can create. That, and here's where you can create your statements. So you can add a new statement, and then you can go and create it. You also have a statement library. So if you create a statement that you need to use in another set of financials, you can always add it to the library and then add it from the library back onto the new statement. You can also view and see what it's going to look like before you add it. That's about it, I think, from that area for a quick view. There's also the word fields, which are the input items which are used many times within the financials. So you need to only change it here once, and it changes right throughout the statements. Same with the combined field, which allows you to combine the input fields and also have its own input to create the item so that it automatically updates. Likewise, you can link to information on the statement itself. You can also pass adjustment entries here as well while you're doing your statement. If you notice that an adjustment hasn't been taken up, you can pass it here, and you can also change the group names. So these are group names which are coming from the grouping. So you can change it here, and if that group name has been utilized anywhere in the statement, it will be updated. So that's the preparation statement, and then here is where you go to export all the statements to Word and then place them onto your final report. And once you've created your final report, you can update your final report here for any future changes by just selecting the Word document and then clicking on update. It'll update all the information. including the graphs which have been created through the system. Here you'll have some online training where you can actually learn how to use the program, and we are constantly updating that for any changes or new functions that are added. And this basically just takes you to the folder where the statement you're working on is saved, so that you can see which statement you're working on. While you can see the name here, you can actually go here, because anything that's exported from the system is also saved in a folder just where the name is, so it's easy to navigate to that location. You can do your year-end rollovers and start the next financial year once you have based off your previous year's financials, which makes it easier and saves time. And here's where you can delete everything and start fresh as a new set. In addition to that, you have the backup and compact area, which is a function to help you keep your files secure and to keep backups as you work through it to prevent any data losses if you have a system crash. So here's where you go to backup the plant file. You can specify the backup location and ideally you'd want to get onto a different machine, so that different machine or a different drive, so if anything were to happen to your machine, you still have a backup. So you select the file there and it will back up both the data file and the Word document, and you just click backup. Here's where you go to compact the file. Compact means that if the file were to get bloated, you could reduce its size by compacting. This function is there as a matter of course. It's hardly ever used, but it's there if ever you need it, but I've not really had to use that function myself. You have the capability to upgrade the backend file. For example, if a new version of the software is introduced and you need to upgrade your existing files so that you can take advantage of the new features that have been added, you just upgrade your data file so that it has the capabilities of being used with the new version. And here's where you just return back to your login screen so that you can continue working on the file you have been working on. So that's it basically in terms of a quick walkthrough of the software and the key areas. More of this can be seen how you use it in our training videos, so I will not be wasting more time on it here.